Well, hey guys, board certified dermatologist, research scientist, and skincare brand founder, Dr. Whitney Bowe here. Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. I stepped outside today because we are talking all about vitamin C, which is one of my favorite ingredients in all of skincare, and it makes me think about spring and sunshine. So here we go. So in this video, I'm going to tell you guys all about vitamin C, exactly how it works in the skin, why I personally recommend adding a vitamin C serum to your skincare routine. I'll also tell you why I consider certain vitamin C ingredients to be total divas. Now, what I think is just so fascinating about vitamin C is that I thought I knew a lot about vitamin C as a practicing dermatologist and a research scientist, but it wasn't until I became a brand founder and became obsessed with selecting skincare ingredients, product formulation, that I really started to understand the nuances behind how vitamin C serums actually work. And so if you like hearing content from somebody who wears all three hats, right? Practicing board certified dermatologist, published research scientist, but also a brand founder who's actively formulating these ingredients and really sort of sees things through a different lens, then be sure to subscribe. Okay, so first let's dive into the science. So there are three main reasons why I recommend adding a vitamin C antioxidant serum into your daily routine as a daily staple. And that says a lot, you guys, because those of you who follow me know that I'm all about a less is more streamlined skincare routine, nothing too complicated. So if I'm saying that this is a product that I personally use and I recommend to all of my patients as a go-to daily staple, it's for good reason. And there are three reasons, so let's dive into reason number one. Okay, so the first reason is that vitamin C can be a powerful antioxidant and it can neutralize free radicals and oxidative stress. So when our skin is exposed every single day to ultraviolet rays and pollution, that leads to free radical damage in the skin. And those free radicals act like little missiles. They accelerate signs of aging in the skin by targeting different structures in our skin for destruction. Now, when you're wearing a regular sunscreen, which of course I do recommend if you're going to be outside or working by a window or driving, that sunscreen is going to absorb some of the UV rays. And that sunscreen can actually block 55% of free radicals from forming in the skin, which is pretty good, but it's only 55%. So what if you had another ingredient that could help mop up the rest of those free radicals before they could actually damage your DNA and your collagen? Well, that's the concept behind a good vitamin C serum. If you layer vitamin C serum underneath your sunscreen, it actually can amplify the protective effects of your sunscreen. So morning skincare routine for me, cleanse, vitamin C serum. If you have dry skin, moisturizer, then broad spectrum sunscreen. So reason number two is that vitamin C can be a powerful skin brightening ingredient. So this is something, if you guys are interested in dark spots and how they form in the skin, things like post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, melasma, lenticos, or sunspots from the skin, you have to check out the video that I have on dark spots, how they form, how to prevent them. But vitamin C can work on what I discussed in that video as being step 2 of the pigment production pathway, because it actually blocks the enzyme tyrosinase. It's a really powerful tyrosinase inhibitor. So vitamin C can actually help to brighten dark spots in the skin. So reason number 3 that I recommend using vitamin C every single day as part of your skincare routine is because it can actually firm the skin by diving into the deeper layers of the skin, call it the dermis, and actually boosting collagen synthesis or collagen production in that layer. And it does that because vitamin C actually acts as what's called a cofactor for 2 enzymes that actually synthesize collagen. So those 2 enzymes in your skin, they can't even work. They can't link those pieces together to create these long strands of collagen without vitamin C. If there's not enough vitamin C present, those enzymes can't even function. Now let's talk about the different forms of vitamin C because I want you guys to feel comfortable reading ingredient labels and being able to identify what types of vitamin C are in a vitamin C serum or a vitamin C product and sort of the pros and cons of each one. First, we're going to start with L-Ascorbic acid. This is the classic traditional form of vitamin C that you've probably heard of, and it has the most evidence behind it. It's been studied the longest, it's been around the longest, and it's in its active form, meaning when L-ascorbic acid hits the skin, it's ready to go to work right away. But there are some pros and cons when it comes to using L-ascorbic acid. So one of the biggest downsides about L-ascorbic acid is that it is highly unstable. It is a total diva. It likes to break down. So what are the things that can break down your L-ascorbic acid? Heat, high pH, air, and sunlight, like kind of everything. So L-ascorbic acid also has to be formulated at a low pH, specifically less than 3.5, in order to be stable, to make sure that it's penetrating into the skin for it to be effective. Now, for your reference, lemon juice, which I recommend that you add to your water, but you don't apply to your skin because it's way too harsh for the skin, has a pH of 2. So you can imagine that for my patients who have sensitive skin, dry skin, if they try to use an L-ascorbic acid serum that's actually formulated the way it should be, meaning it's got a pretty low pH, they oftentimes experience stinging, sensitivity. Their skin might even react to that serum. And that's because a well-formulated L-ascorbic acid serum actually has to be at a pretty low pH, which some people just don't tolerate well. And because it's so unstable and so challenging to formulate with, it can be really hard to try to combine L-ascorbic acid with other active ingredients in the same product, in the same serum. It can also be really challenging to try to layer an L-ascorbic acid containing vitamin C serum with other active products. So for example, when I'm counseling my patients how to layer their skincare, if they're using an L-ascorbic acid vitamin C serum, I often counsel my patients to not use that serum on the same night that they're using a retinoid or an exfoliating serum, especially if they have sensitive skin. So if you're gonna buy an L-ascorbic acid serum, then I would recommend, first of all, looking for one that has between 8 and 20% of the L-ascorbic acid. More is not better. You also wanna look for it in a package that is opaque, because you don't want light being able to get through that packaging because it can break down that vitamin C. And ideally, you want the vitamin C, the L-ascorbic acid serum, to be in an airless package, again, to protect that formula. If you get an L-ascorbic acid serum that's in a dropper, I recommend using that up pretty quickly because it's constantly being exposed to oxygen, which can increase that breakdown process. So how do you know if your vitamin C serum is starting to break down or lose its efficacy? So you want to look for color change or a color shift. So if you get a vitamin C serum that starts off clear and it starts turning yellow, that could be a sign that it's starting to oxidize. Or if you're getting a vitamin C serum that starts off as a pale yellow and it turns brown, orange, rust colored, that can be another sign that it's starting to oxidize. It doesn't mean that it's completely losing its efficacy, but there's a chance that it's going to be less effective as that color starts to shift. But at this point, let's move on to some of the newer vitamin C alternatives to L-ascorbic acid. And there is a long list, but these were created, they were actually developed to solve for the stability issues that we see with L-ascorbic acid. Now, the last two on this list are my personal favorites, and they're the ones that I chose to include in my own vitamin C serum, so I'll talk you through why. Okay, so while most of these alternatives to L-ascorbic acid are indeed more stable than L-ascorbic acid, when it comes to efficacy and the ability to deliver those 3 key benefits that we talked about earlier in this video, it's not all of them are equal. In fact, many of these, yes, they do have that antioxidant protective benefit that we discussed, but only some of them, in particular the last 2, are really effective when it comes to providing those other benefits, the brightening, the firming benefits. And so, for that reason, those 2 really caught my attention. Now, it's also worth noting that when it comes to antioxidants like vitamin C, some are water water-loving and some are lipid-loving. And that can actually impact how well that ingredient absorbs into all the different layers of the skin. So I personally like a combination of water-loving and lipid-loving forms of vitamin C. Okay, let's get a little nerdy here. Okay, the outer layer of the skin is called the stratum corneum, and that's actually really lipid heavy. So a lipid-loving form of vitamin C is going to more readily penetrate through that stratum corneum and dive deeper into the skin. Also, lipid-loving forms of vitamin C are more likely to dive into the pores. So the pores of our skin, called pilosebaceous units, are also lipid-loving. And the free radicals in those pores can actually contribute to acne and breakouts. So I like to include a vitamin C that's lipid loving because I want it to penetrate the stratum corneum and dive into the pores. So I'm personally fascinated by the idea that free radicals and oxidative stress in the pores can lead to a process called lipid peroxidation and can make acne worse. And I actually published on that topic with my colleague Alan Logan. So this is the study here, and I'll put a link below in case you guys want to dive in and get nerdy with me. So Tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate, or THD ascorbate, is the ingredient that is lipid loving, that has a lot of data behind its efficacy. So that's the one that a lot of people find that products that contain that ingredient, tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate, are especially effective. Now, however, parts of our skin are more water-based, and the thought is that a water-loving antioxidant can actually penetrate into those parts of the skin more effectively and can even travel through different layers of the skin more effectively. So 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid is an example of a water-loving form of vitamin C. So I love to combine a lipid-loving vitamin C with a water-loving vitamin C, so you're really getting that vitamin C delivered to all the different parts of the skin. In fact, it's even better when you take those two forms of vitamin C and you combine them with other water-loving and lipid-loving antioxidants, because we know that antioxidants together, they can actually work better together. They work synergistically. It's sort of a thing where 1 + 1 is greater than 2. That's when you think about antioxidants and how they actually can stabilize each other and actually have even more bang for the buck when they're placed together. Well, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe so that you can follow me for more. Mwah!